Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1985 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today we finished off the month of May, so we're going to wrap it up with a video in which we take a look at the standings, the league leaders. We're going to do our player pyramid through the end of the month, and at the very end we're going to take a look at the amateur draft that takes place on June 9th, so right here at the end of this Blue Jays series. We're less than 2 weeks away from that. So we'll take a look and see who's available in the draft. We have the 22nd pick in the draft. So who's going to be there for us in the first round? That is the question. And I've said this before when we started this sim up at the beginning of this year, of the 85 season. This is going to be my final year creating content for this sim, but I'm going to play it offline till until its logical conclusion, which is whenever I get bored of it. But we will start a new series in its place, and it will most likely have to do with the Arizona Diamondbacks. I might actually take them right from their inception, their expansion season, and then play them out until we get tired of that one. So that's kind of the game plan going forward. Now, we finished the end of the month of May in rough fashion. We had a couple real stinkers in there. Some good offense from us, but we just could not get our bullpen to work right. Frustrating outings from our starting pitchers. And we finished the month with a 17-11 record. Not the way you want to go, because we were on fire. And then this last week plus, we lost 2 out of 3 to the last place Brewers, a 500 team, the Indians, and then we started off the series versus the Yankees with a There we go. So we'll take a look here at June. Now we got 2 more games versus the Yankees. We have a day off. We got the Brewers coming up once again at Tiger Stadium. Hopefully we can get things right there. The Blue Jays are our 500 team, and then of course the first place Red Sox, which are our nemesis at this point. If you look at the standings, you'll see that they have a 3.5 game lead on us, thanks to an 8-game winning streak, coincidentally, as we start to falter. They are a much better team than we are. They are better in every aspect of the game. We have stopped stealing, as you probably know. For the entire month of May, we did not intentionally steal a bag, nor did we tag up and take an extra base. And that was because every time we tried, we got thrown out. And I know that it's some, calculation within the game that says in this scenario, with this speed and this defensive player's arm, you're not going to make it no matter what. And so we've completely stopped stealing. We've only got 29 stolen bases. The only time we actually get a stolen base is on a missed hit and run, and I hit and run a lot. That's my main strategy. And so, so speed element is gone. Our pitching has, our team ERA has gone up almost half a run since the beginning of this month, and we are not a very good hitting team. And that's because our veterans, who we've relied on since the beginning of our sim in 1980, have all just stopped hitting. George Brett being our biggest culprit. We've got rid of some of the players that we, that I at least love on the Tigers. And that did kind of put us in the right direction temporarily. But as we've mentioned, at the end of the month, it's been kind of rough. So we look at the standings, and Boston's got a 3.5 game lead. 7 back is Cleveland and the Yankees. And then 7.5 back is Baltimore, who looked like they might be the best team in the division, but they went on a tailspin. Toronto at one point had first place, and they've fallen to 2 games under 500. And Milwaukee's never really been in it, but they certainly took it to us. You look at the American League West, Chicago and Seattle are duking it out. Seattle's the better team by far. I'm not really sure how Chicago is doing it. I know they're a good team, and simply based on the numbers we see here, but Seattle is by far the class of that division. And when you see the player pyramid, you're going to know why. California and Oakland, both 4 games above 500, 5 games back. And then Texas, Kansas City, and Minnesota are all 10 games or more behind in the division race. So, I mean, this is too early to call in either one of these divisions. Like, I know that the game, the way that it's designed, is going to keep us in it all the way into September. Whether we can put it together or not, I don't know. But we certainly know our weaknesses right now. Our bullpen is shit. Our starting pitchers are struggling now. Jeff Robinson, who was the ace and reliable starter, is done. I mean, he's had 4 stinkers in a row. 2 of them have been horrible, including today's game. And I think he's probably done. We have to, most likely we'll have to keep him at 5 innings or 6 innings max. Because if he doesn't get destroyed in those 5 innings of work, he's going to get destroyed in the 6th or later. So we now have to, keep a close eye on him. David Cohn has been great. He continues to be good for us, and I feel confident every time he goes to the mound. And then beyond that, we've got nothing. Petrie will be back mid-month. How many more days as I click on it? Okay, 11 more days. And when that happens, we're going to rearrange our roster quite a bit. We know our pitching rotation and our bullpen is what I'm referring to. And I'm not going to say with any certainty whether I'm going to make a trade or not, but we certainly have the payroll because you can see our projected profit of over $1.5 million. I mean, some of that money could be spent wisely on getting a trade for a starting pitcher. The question is, can we get Teddy Higuera, and would they even trade him within their division? Probably not, right? So that doesn't seem like something that would be wise for them to do. But at any rate, that's where we stand in the American League. We'll take a look here at the National League. I feel like this has been the status quo for a little while, as Philadelphia is in first, 2 games over Chicago, who's making a good run at it right now. They're 5 games. They've won 5 in a row, and they're 10 games above 500. The Mets are always in it in this game. And Pittsburgh is 4 games above 500. That's kind of amazing. They're only 5 games back. Montreal, St. Louis are done. Los Angeles, 2.5 up in the West over Cincinnati, who's almost always a pretty good team in our sim. San Diego is strong, 3.5 back. And then Houston, Atlanta, and San Francisco are all but done as well. So when I say the teams that are all but done, I point them out because these are teams that we could easily trade with. Typically, a team that isn't at least 10 games out at any point is not going to trade away their players. So a team might try to target our players if they're looking to improve their own team, like a weakness within their roster. They may target our team. But if we're looking to trade for starting pitchers or for a bat, we'd have to go to a team that is 10 games back or more in order for us to kind of take advantage of them a little bit. Okay, so there's the standings for you, the American League and the National League. I want to do the league leaders next before we do the player pyramid. So the player pyramid might make more sense Um, I I am kind of surprised that half of the player pyramid has been flipped just in 1 month, but it's early on, and maybe a lot of those players will, kind of plateau going forward. Okay, we're going to go through the league leaders as quickly as we can. As you can see, Randy Azador is the class of the American League. I believe he's got the triple crown right now. We'll double check that, of course. This is the top 25. Randy Azador batting .358. In fact, all 25 shown here are over 300. That's pretty amazing through the month of May to have more than 25 batters over 300. Certainly wouldn't happen anytime in this era. So Azador batting .358 for Seattle. Tom Dunbar batting .351 in his age 25 year. Looking pretty good there. And they might trade him. Carl Pagel, what a pain in the ass he's been against us. Batting .342. Wade Boggs makes sense. Jim Traber, Chico Walker, Lenny Harris, Ernie Riles, Dave Henderson, and Ricardo Sainz from Seattle round out the top 10. And TK batting .316, our best hitter by far. I don't know why he's so good with a 74 rating, but we've said it many times. The ratings don't make any sense. They don't mean anything actually, so it's tough to go by. And every once in a while, you'll get someone like Terry Kennedy who's hitting above his ratings, in my opinion. But he's batting .316, which is pretty good. And he's got double-digit home runs now after his home run today. He had a grand slam in yesterday's ball game. There's Trammell hitting .313 for California, so that's done him some good. And you can see the rest of the American League here. Leon Roberts, how's he batting .300? Texas must be a good stadium. We have not gone to Arlington yet this year, so I don't recall what the stadium effects are there. Okay, let's get going. Oops, darn it. So his batting average, we're just going to quickly go through these at-bats. Chico Walker's leading the American League. Willie Wilson's right there. We're going to do all the batting stats first. Doubles, Bob Bonner for the Orioles has 17. Eisenreich doesn't really count because half of them are with Minnesota, half are with Detroit. Willie Wilson's got 12. He's the technical team leader. And Alan Trammell's got 14. That's good to see. There you go. All right. Who's grounding in the double plays? Nobody in our team, and we're not turning them either. So Troy Neal of Minnesota. In fact, Minnesota's got a couple slow pokes. Then we've got extra base hits. Randy Azador's got 35. Alan Cockrell, Dave Henderson both have 26. Terry Kennedy with 21 leading the team. That makes sense. Do we want to look at? Yeah, let's look at fielding. I'm always curious. So Terry Kennedy down to 976. He had a big error today. We had 4 errors in that damn ball game. Seriously, about ready to lose my mind. And TK was one of them. So defensively, he's starting to decline. Mickey Tettleton at one point was one of the worst defensive catchers. In fact, isn't he terrible? He's an 80, I guess, behind the plate. He's got no range, and his fielding is just above league average. So I don't know. Okay. First base. Rusty Tillman performing admirably with a 994. Alvin Davis of the Mariners has yet to commit an error. What's that like? I'll never know. Lou Whitaker just finally coming around with the bat, and defensively he's always been good. That's the one thing he does well. Third base is George Brett. A useless player at this point. Can't field, cannot hit, can't hit for power, can't hit in the clutch, can't get on base. Shortstop is Barry Larkin, second best. He had an error today, so did Brett. And Eisenreich had the other one, if you're curious who the four were. Barry Larkin, second best. And he replaced Alan Trammell, who's also got a 981. Left field, do we have anyone that qualifies? Oh, yeah, of course, Gibby Wood. All right, other than the two perfect defenders, Gibby's third. So that's nice. Good job by Gibby. Center field, Willie Wilson in the middle of the pack. And in right field, we've got nobody that qualifies yet. Jim Eisenreich was playing left field for the Twins. He's playing right field for us. But Bob Pate and Mike Davis are the American League standard. Let's take a look at hits. Chico Walker, leadoff hitter for Boston, leading with 79. He's got a 6-hit lead over Randy Azador. Willie Wilson has 60. Does he have any? Yeah, if he gets 91 more hits this year, he'll get to 1,000. That's something. And he's third on our team in RBI. That's so stupid. All right. We've taken him out of the leadoff spot. We moved him to the number 2 spot. Now we've dropped him down to the 7th in hopes that he can actually drive in some runs. That's how desperate we are. Who's been hit by pitch? Chuck Jackson, my namesake, for Cleveland has 4. Hoskin Powell's got 4. And, 3 Tigers. Not even starters. Home runs, Homer. Let's see. We got, Randy Azador leading the American League with 20 home runs through the first 2 months. It's all Seattle. Cockrell, Signs, and Dave Henderson, and Dave Hengel. All in the top 10. Throw in some Salks. Dale Svein, Sepp Randall. There's Tom Dunbar. Van Snyder. Danny Tartable just got a contract extension. Rod Allen and Gibby, who only hits home runs with 2 out, nobody on in the 9th inning when you're down 7 runs. He's got 11 of those. Tim Hewlett, Ron Kittle. These guys should be there. Not Dickie Thon. There's a lot of players who have 10 home runs. Mark McGwire had 4 in one series against us. The one that we lost 2 out of 3. Okay. Neat. Let's see. Intentional walks? Yeah. Not really a category here. Daryl Sconyers has 3 for California. Outfield assists. Who's got the arm? This is going to go down so much, like whatever the percentage that an outfield assist happens is going to go down like 25% just because we're not running. So all those outfielders with the terrible arm where it said 90% success rate, and I'd go and they'd get thrown out at second base, and I'd tear my laptop in half. That's not going to happen because I'm just not going to do it. There's no point. Because if it said 90% and it was 9 out of 10 times, I would probably go at 90%, but it's not. 90% is like 10%. 9 times you're going to get thrown out, and 1 time you might make it. And it won't be when you need it most. Okay. I'm mad. I'm just so angry right now. Oh, on base percentage? Randy Azador, 432. Look at this. We got 8 guys above 400 with the on base percentage. And these are all guys that walk in our game. Now, I don't know about Tom Dunbar, but all these other guys have a history of walking in our game. Tommy D, 20 walks. That's not much at all. So, I mean, he's just having a good start to the year. I bet he'll drop off. Barry Larkin with 373 is something. Okay. OPS. Azador just ruling them all. 1177. That's pretty good. And TK, number 12 with an 899. That's nothing to sneeze at. Plate appearances. Chico Walker. My phone's going off. My apologies. All right. Nobody on our team. And I don't care about range factors. RBI. Interesting. Now, Randy Azador, through 54 games, has 66 RBIs. We are at the 1/3 mark, right? 54 games is 1/3 of a season. That's where we finished up today. So 1/3 of the way through, he's on pace for 190 RBI. Is that right? 66. That's 8. 198 RBI? That's insane. I mean, I want to see it happen. And that would actually make me hate this game less if that actually happened. Kirk Gibson and Terry Kennedy, the fact that they're even on the page surprises me. I would not have thought that we'd have anyone represented in RBI. But Kennedy did have that home run. He had the 5 RBI game, and Gibby's had a couple RBI in the last couple days. All right. Runners thrown out. See, Kennedy has thrown out 18 runners, but not a lot lately. Marty Party's got a couple. We got to get Marty Party in the game tomorrow. All right. Percentage, 33 1/3. Yeah, because he did not throw out people today. So I think he's actually below his career average now. But my Sharona, Rick Rona, Don Slott, Ron Hassey. And again, we are not stealing, so because we get caught 50% of the time, so this might be worse than ever. Look at Bud Bowling, Mickey Tettleton, Brian Harper, all below 20%. And that would go up if we played White Sox and tried to run every time we could. His would go up to like 90% in 3 games. Probably not, but like you get the picture. Runs scored. Randy Azador leading in that, 51. And Chico Walker, yeah, a lot of leadoff. Yeah, we don't score runs, so we would not have anyone representing us. Sacrifice hits. Dougie, he's got 4. Marty Party, Lou, Willie. Sacrifice flies. Yeah, nobody in our team because that never works anymore. And Marty Brown, Al Davis, Willie. Okay, let's see here. Let's look at salaries because we've had a lot of signings recently. This is just in the American League. So Bruce Berenyi looking good at the top. Oh, this is, even though it's American League, it is both leagues. So I'm seeing there's nobody. We don't pay anybody. Is Jack Morris on here somewhere? Yeah, there he is. Jack Morris getting paid more than Randy Jones. Yeah, he's got one more. I mean, this is his final year. I hope they cut him, but if they don't, that's all right too. All right, salary. Slugging. Yeah, it's Azador with a 745. That's no joke. TK in the top 10. Good job by him. Steals. At one point, Willie Wilson was right among the league leaders at the top anyway. And then he just got thrown out like 5 times in a row. I'm like, no, forget it. It's not worth it. Otis Nixon leads with 35. That makes sense. Willie Wilson he's 11 for 19. Look at his log. And he's had 2 successful ones. And that had to have been a missed hit and runs. Because we started doing the no steal thing back on May 1st. Okay. So at least he's 2 for 2. He had to. All right. Let's see. Strikeouts. Who's striking out the most? Van Snyder from Toronto. Gibby I think Gibby was on a torrid pace for a while, but he's kind of turned it around. He's on a 4-game hitting streak. Oh no, he struck out 4 games in a row. 4-game hitting streak. He's also struck out once per game. 16 strikeouts in the last 20 games. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Total bases. Oh my gosh, 152 already. That's. I mean, who the hell's Randy Azador? He's tearing it up. DJ Dozier has 6 triples. Barry Larkin's got 2. Shooty Babbitt has 3. All right. Who's walking? We got nobody. Nobody's walking on our team. Fritzy Connolly with 39. Mark McGuire, 39. I mean, that sort of makes sense. So 1/3 of the way through the season, and there's 9 guys potentially that could, if you just extrapolate it, might hit 100, which is a lot in this game. It just usually doesn't work that way. Okay, that's it for batters. Let's look at pitching categories real quick. Thanks for sticking with us. We're going to take a look at the player pyramid next, and then we will do the draft. Complete games. Tewksbury did not get one today. He pitched 8 innings. He'd only thrown 85 pitches against us, and they didn't send him out for the 9th inning. Makes no sense, but he could have had 5. Doesn't seem like 4 is very many, right? Doesn't it seem like they always throw complete games against us? ERA. Well, Jeff Robinson got blowed up. He was actually leading the American League, it looks like, until today's game, because he had a 1.77 ERA, and the game just can't allow that to happen. Oil Can Boyd, Ron Romanick, Al Lakowitz, Boddicker, wow, Tudor, Larry White for Oakland, Langston Berenyi. That's what they're paying those Seattle pitchers for. And some other candidates. Only 21 pitchers below a 4 ERA, including Len Barker. How many of these guys were out of baseball in '85? Barker, well, no, technically Barker was there, right? Keith Creel? I don't know what year that card is. 83? So Keith Creel, I believe, was out. Matt Williams, of course, never was. Randy O'Neal was. He was a rookie in real life. Larry White was not. No. Al Lakowitz was not. So 1, 2, 3. Mike Jones? No, Mike Jones was there. 3, 4. 4 in the top. Well, under 4 ERA. I guess that's not terrible, right? Okay, I'm sorry, keep it going here. Keep it rolling. Games pitched. It's all Tigers. These are people who are still on our team. I think Comstock's on the verge of being cut. He did have a good inning today. Rosie is going to cost us to cut him, but he will probably be cut. He has a no-trade clause, right? Won't approve a trade to any team. And so we're stuck eating this on a guy that can't pitch. We're going to put him in the rotation, though. I think that's what's going to happen. All right. We didn't see games played. Nelson Simmons is on the Yankees has played 55 games somehow. All right. Ground into double plays induced. Mike Jones and Kurt Young. None of our team. We don't get double plays. Hits per 9. I guess that's kind of an interesting stat. Lakowitz, Robinson, and Brian Kelly? This whip must be pretty good then. No way to know. The game doesn't keep track of whip. Who's hit the most batters? Boddicker at Moscow. Petrie's been injured for a month, almost a month. Let's take a look here at home runs allowed. Who's giving it up? Frank Tanana. That makes me feel good. Mike Warren. Rosie's giving up 14. That makes me feel bad. Innings pitched. There's 3 pitchers. I mean, almost you could say 5 at 100 or more already. How many starts is that? 14 starts. And we're 1/3 of the way through the season. Wow. So they must be in 4-man rotations. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, nobody on our team, that's for sure. Okay, innings per game, 7.62. So they're not quite getting complete games. Let's see. I don't care about any of that. Quality starts, not a stat that I care about, but Oil Can and Lakowitz. You see a lot of the same names here. Jeff Robinson has 11 starts, and 7 have been quality. That's a good ratio for us in this game. Okay, moving on to saves. Dave Smith has 19, but I feel like it's been a while now. Look at his log. Since the 25th, so it's been a week since he's got a save. Yeah, he's got a 4 ERA in his last 20 appearances, but he's got 13 saves. Okay. Anyway, he leads the American League by 7. You got to feel good about that. Save success. Yeah, 82.6. Okay. Shutouts. 5 guys have 2. Boddicker, Romanek, Tukes, Tudor, Larry White. Okay, starts. Yeah, there's 3. Well, the 3 who had the most innings. Makes sense. Strikeouts pitched. Mark Langston with 106. So he's on pace for 318. Simple math skills. That would blow away his career best. Also, he would be on pace to throw 300 innings. That's not going to happen. There's no way. There's no way. All right. Bruce Hurst has 80. He's 26 back. Teddy Higuera, that would be nice to have on the team. A pitcher who could get strikeouts. Yeah, Langston is averaging over 1 inning, which is good. Brian Kelly, he has been good lately with the strikeouts. We're almost done here. Wins. Nobody has 10 wins. But Dotson and Matt Williams could win 27. That's not great. Okay. I mean, that's just not going to happen, I don't think, right? Some decent names there. And it's good to see Jeff Robinson, even though he's had 4 starts in a row where he did not get a win. Winning percentage, Brainiac, and then Jeff Robinson. Okay. I guess the game would not let him get through the month of May without getting a loss. Maybe that's what happened today. All right. Let's take a look at the main categories for the National League, and then we'll move on to the player pyramid. Batting average, Darryl Brown, downtown Darryl Brown, for the Reds is batting .361. This is his first chance to play every day, I guess. And he's doing well. Okay. Tony Gwynn you expect. Willie McGee you expect. Yeah, okay. That's about it. Now, I'm telling you right now, if you saw the end of April player pyramid, you know that Damon Berryhill was number 1 on the player pyramid. And he is number 1 again. He did not move despite 12 new players on the chart. He is still the number 1 player with a 4.1 WAR. How much of that is his fielding? 1 full defensive WAR, throwing out 45%. Ouch. So I'm letting you know in advance, for the second consecutive month, he is the number 1 player. There's your top 25. If you want to pause it, take a longer look. They are not at 300 all the way through number 25. They only have 15 hitters. Okay. Home runs, Eric Davis. Eric Davis was the biggest drop of anybody on the player pyramid. He's only got 15, and I don't know if he's had too many in the last 20. Look at his log. He's had 4. One's going to fall off. So, yeah, he's been struggling. Wait, he's not injured, is he? No. Was he injured? No. He's just struggling. Okay. Jeff Reed, a career backup catcher, who was a rookie in 1885. There's this rated rookie Donruss card. That's a cool looking card. And good for him. There's Berryhill, Rob Deere, Danny Pasqua. Somebody on the Dodgers finally hitting home runs. We'll look at the whole top 25. Ricky B. Ricky. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Okay. Runs batted in. Jeff Reed, Chris James. So, 50% schlubs, 50%. Well, maybe not even 50%. Who we got here? We got Nick Asaski, Eric Davis, Cal Daniels. So you have 3 actual real life hitters, and the rest were schlubs or never were's. And Ricky B. Ricky leads the National League in stolen bases with 22. Herm has 20. Okay, and then we're just going to look at the pitchers' main categories here. There's ERA. There is wins. Here is strikeouts pitched. And here is saves. So Fernando, I believe, was the biggest jump in the game. He was not on the pyramid. And now he is, I believe, in the second row. We're going to see that here very quickly. And then we have Tony Gelfi with 10 wins of Philadelphia. Randy Johnson has 7. Strikeouts pitched. Wow, J.R. Richard for Philadelphia. Good free agent signing for them. He's got 100 so far this year. And Randy Johnson, who's getting his first chance to be in the rotation, has 92 and 92 in the third. He's on the Reds in our game. Then we got Tom Browning, who I wish we still had. Probably should have signed him to a big contract. And the saves leaders is Bill Caudill of the Chicago Cubs. He's got 18. And there's a couple names here. Tom Hankey, we traded him to Houston. Franco Orozco Pena was a closer for the Dodgers. Worrell, of course, was a Rookie of the Year. Okay, so there you go. Now you've seen it. There is your league leaders. And so it's going to make a little bit more sense now that we look at the end of May player pyramid. This will be posted on the Brainiac Baseball YouTube community page as well as on our Facebook page if you want to take a longer gander at it. Best hitter. Well, let's just tell you who stayed. I think that's probably more interesting. So Berryhill, Randy Azador being beat up out by a career backup catcher. He's a backup too, so whatever. Oil Can Boyd in the number 3 spot. Ricardo Sainz and Dave Henderson, they were all on the board before. So Fernando Valenzuela is the highest entry onto the pyramid. We just saw his numbers. Luis Medina was number 2, and he fell down here. So he's a holdover, and so is Ron Romanick. And then we have a couple newcomers, Cockrell and Traber. Kurt Ford moved up from the last spot to here. And then this is where you have a majority of newcomers. We got Sap Randall for the Sox, the White Sox. Bill Gullickson for the Expos. Tony Gelfi leading the National League of Wins we just saw. Al Lakowitz was a holdover. He was in the second row. Then we got Britt Burns as a newcomer for the White Sox. Ron Downing for the Mets is new. Rick Rhoden for the Pirates is new. Mark Langston is a holdover for Seattle. This is Dale Sveum of Milwaukee. No, he's on the White Sox, right? And who's this guy? Can I make it bigger? Oh, it's Randy Johnson, duh. So yeah, Randy Johnson making the list for the first time in his career. Teddy Higuera is a holdover, but he dropped from the second row to the bottom row. And then we add Dutch Dalton to the list. And then Mike Boddicker is a holdover as well. So those are your 12 newcomers and 12 holdovers. Damon Berryhill, I think, being boosted by his defensive WAR is what's making the difference between him and Azador, because Azador is a better hitter overall. So there is your player pyramid through the month of May. And as I mentioned, if you want a longer look at this, you can check it out on the community page on YouTube or on the Facebook page on a website called Facebook. Okay. Now let's get back to this. We'll wrap it up with the player draft. Now, as I mentioned, we have the 22nd pick in the draft. And here we are. All the players, I have them ranked by scouting. So we would have the 22nd pick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Tim Pugh is where, if things were to go chalk, that's where we would end up. So let's just take a look and see who we have here. The number 1 rated scouting but by the Tiger Scouts is Chris Nabholz. Left-handed starting pitcher, not a great. Well, I mean, you really can't count on any of this stuff, right? And I don't know why it's Chris Nabholz. I don't know why the game thinks that, but he is the highest rated. Then we have Kevin Apier, longtime Kansas City Royal and Oakland A. Mo Vaughn. What was his nickname? It was something dog, right? Hit Dog or something like that. Mo Vaughn. Cool Bowman rookie card. I mean, I would love to get Mo Vaughn. Brian Jordan, 2-sport player. Played for the Cardinals in baseball. I can't remember who he played football for. And there's Smoltzy, drafted by the Tigers in real life. That's going to be tough for us to get. I would love to get Smoltzy. Trevor Hoffman, Hall of Fame reliever, all-time saves leader, showing him with a bat in his hand here. And it does say that he was an infielder. Or maybe it says outfield, I can't tell. So he must have been converted at some point. That's a minor league card. I'm surprised the game doesn't have him as a hitter. That's how stupid this game is. Andy Benes, a good pitcher in his time. And we like him on Team USA. So is Tino Martinez. If you can't get Mad Dog, you wouldn't mind getting Tino. Not Mad Dog. Is it Mad Dog or Hit Dog? Reggie Sanders. Versatile player. Really was good defensively at all positions in the outfield. Luis Gonzalez, left fielder. Had that big hit for the Diamondbacks against the Yankees. Oh, and the neck to end all necks. Let's just take that neck. If there was like a combine like they do in football, and they wanted to like do like the neck measurements, that would be the all-time winner right there. Okay. Donnie Wall, reliever. Jerry Spradlin, reliever. Cal Eldred. Mike Sims, a big bust. What? Big prospect, big bust. Roger Pavlik. Tom Gordon, Flash. Andy Ashby, underrated. He looks like a 12-year-old here. But Andy Ashby had some good years. And Jim Abbott, we love Jim Abbott, University of Michigan. And, of course, he only had one hand. But he threw a no-hitter for the Yankees. Amazing. Tim Naring, shortstop. Well, they have him at third base. I think he did play third base more than he played short. Bob Hamlin, big-time DH for the Royals. Robin Ventura, third baseman. Got some knuckle sandwiches from Nolan Ryan. And there's Tim Pugh. Pitch for the Expos. So those are the top 22. And then we'll just look at the other ones here. People of note. John Valentin wasn't too bad of a hitter. Lee Stevens had one big power year. There's Neon Dion. Henry Rodriguez, H-Rod. Kenny Lofton, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He will be in the Hall of Fame. At some point, I have a good feeling. Ray Langford, Greg Jennings. Omar Oliveras was okay. Randy Nosek, a Detroit Tiger draft pick way back in the day. Eric Young, Junior Felix. Eric Anthony. Charles Nagy, underrated. Ben Donald, overall #1 draft pick for the Orioles. Way down here with the 7.4. That's probably accurate, right? Based on what he did in real life. Julio L. would probably know better about that. Eric Karros, good first baseman and a good announcer. I like what he does. Marquise Grissom, Vinny Castilla, big home run hitter for the Rockies. Pat Rapp was the #1 draft pick for the Marlins in the expansion draft, or maybe their first full draft. Jaime Navarro, Tommy Green, pitched a no-hitter. One of those rare, no-name pitchers that threw a no-hitter. Now we're getting to some schlubs. I mean, we're coming through Schlubberville right now. It's a one-way ticket. Tim Worrell, Todd Worrell's brother. John Doherty, a goofy-looking pitcher for the Tigers. Let's see. I want to get John Doherty on the same bullpen with the Creeper. Real Cormier, Pedro Bourbon. Brian McRae. I mean, he had a good career, but Baseball Mogul never respects Brian McRae. Leadoff hitter for the Royals. Darren Lewis. Mike Stanton, longtime pitcher. Relief pitcher. Jason Grimsley. Bosky. John Flaherty, good defensive catcher. Turk Wendell brushed his teeth while in the middle of the game. Omar Vizquel likes to see naked butts. F.P. Santangelo, he was a part-time player, but a great announcer for the Nationals, and then he started touching butts. Don't touch butts unless you ask first. Is that so hard? That's my PSA announcement for today. Don't touch butts. There's really nobody else here. Doug Brocail, I like Doug Brocail when he's on the Tigers. We got him from the Padres in a big deal that, I don't know. It was like schlub for schlub. But I always liked Doug Brocail. He looked tough. Chuck Carr, R.I.P. Chucky Carr. We are really getting down the list here. Ray Sanchez, good defensive shortstop for the Mets. Gary DiSarcina, he's not respected in this game. We think he'd be better. Graham Lloyd from A Land Down Under. Kurt Knudsen. Was he the knuckler? I can't remember. Does he have a knuckleball? No. Fastball splitter. Yeah, let's see. Wow. David Howard. And that's it right there. Okay. James Hurst is the worst. All right, so there you go. There is your, as we go back to the top here, there's your available players coming up in the draft. I think we get 4 picks in this. We're going to get some schlubs. The crazy thing is that the way the draft is set up, the teams in front of you, as we're number 22, they don't always go for the best player available, right? You know, the number 1 pick is the Astros. It's right over here if you didn't see it. And the Astros, there's no guarantee they're going to pick Chris Nobbles. They might pick Mo Vaughn, or they might pick Luis Iglesias. You know? Is he a person? Oh, yeah. He is. So, you know, so by the time it gets to us at 22, there might be somebody good available. But I don't see anybody that, you know, makes me super excited. I guess I'd love to get Jim Abbott, you know, within these 5 pick here. If he was available, I would pick him just because you know, I'm a University of Michigan slappy. But yeah, the likelihood that Smoltz will be there is not good. Or Vaughn, or Tino. So we'll probably go with a pitcher. And I guess we just have to see. If none of those pitchers are there when it gets to our turn, we're not taking Tim Pugh. We might go down and get Kenny Lofton, which I think would be great. But I don't know. All right. Anyway, that's going to do it. That's wrapping it up right now. We have June here. We got 2 more games against the Yankees. We had a day off. And then we'll keep it rolling until we get to the draft, as it says right here, June 9th. I believe it takes place immediately after the game? Or does it take immediately after the game on the 8th? I can never remember. But we'll be prepared one way or another. And that's going to do it. So let's wrap it up. And we will be back tomorrow to play the first game of the series, second game of the series against the Yankees, game 1 of June. Until then, everyone, have a great day.